Mr. Petrimo. Today we're going to learn how to use the Draw It tool in Nearpod. The Draw It tool has so many uses, so many different applications that you can do. So I'm going to show you several different ones. I'm going to go to Add Activity, and I'm going to go to Draw It. Now, Draw It basically puts a background image on a sheet that then gives the kids drawing tools that they can write. They can type a text box, they can color, they can highlight. So there's a lot of different uses here. So I'm going to start by uploading an image that I pre-selected. Let's start with the colors worksheet. For younger kids, if you're working on colors, you can save this. And when you get the preview of it, the kids will have a little drawing toolbar at the bottom, and they'll be able to color these clouds in with the different colors. So it's kind of really cool for this. And then when they're done, they'll submit it. I'm going to throw in another one. Sorry, I'm not able to show you their little toolbar. We'll figure that one out in a minute. Put in another Draw It. This time I'm going to upload a different image. And this time I'm going to do a worksheet. Let's pick the civil rights worksheet. So it puts this worksheet as their background, and then they'll be able to insert little text boxes on this side of the chart. So if you have your civil rights leaders lesson that you're doing, maybe toward the end you could put in a Draw It and have them do some research and put in a text box of what Susan B. Anthony did and what Eleanor Roosevelt did. So they'll be able to put in a text box of what each of the civil rights leaders did and type in their answers. And it allows them to resize them and move them around the page so they can put them in exactly the right spot. So it's really useful for charts. And when you receive their answers, you'll be able to read those little text boxes, and you'll be able to grade those. Another way to use a Draw It, which ended up being one of the favorite ones in my demo, the kids loved it, was putting in a blank emoji face. And I think I wrote the prompt, how are you feeling today? And then let them go. Some of those kids did a really good job, and they had so much fun with it. Some of them took forever. So you may want to think about adding a timer, give them 5-minute timer or something like that, just to keep them on pace. Also, remember, you still have this reference tool. So you could add a video, you could add a lesson, you could add a lecture, and then put in activities with these Draw Its too, and also the little math symbol. So this is going to be very useful for math class too. So I'm going to save that one. I think I had one more to show you. Let me put one more in. There's so many different, oops, it was under activity. So many different applications for Draw It. I just love it. Upload. Oh, it was the maps. I wanted to show you the maps. You can also put in maps that have things that the kids will label, and they can actually write in this little box 1, 2, 3, and put their answers right in that little box. And so it's really useful. Or you could have them draw a connecting line up from the word to the number. So a lot of different ways that you can use the Draw It. So useful, and probably a lot of things I haven't even thought about. There was one more option that I did think about, and it was a math worksheet. Always trying to think of all the different subjects. I think this was the simple math worksheet that I got. Yes. So on the simple math worksheet, they'll be able to use the pencil tool and just write in 8 and 10 and 6. And so, you know, it could be so useful for a lot of different things. All right, so I wanted to do a little sample run through with you so you can see what a student is seeing on the end of a Draw It. So this is my colors worksheet, and the students have these tools down at the bottom. They have a pencil that they can choose colors. They have a highlighter that they can also choose colors, and they can choose the width of the marker on the tape on the item. And they have a text box where they can insert and move it around, and they can choose what color text to put in, and they can delete them, and they can resize them to make them fit. So they can really make them fit into your charts when you're using those. They also have an insert graphic tool, so you could give them a blank, draw it, and say, find a picture of George Washington and do whatever activity for that one. And then they also have an eraser. So for this colors, I would have them go through and choose blue, and then we're just gonna color the cloud blue. So we're gonna choose red, maybe even make it a little bit thicker, so I can be done a little quicker, and do green. So you would have this activity to do. This would not be exactly the great activity because you'll notice they only have these 8 colors. They do not have brown, they do not have gray or purple, and they do not have pink. So you have to plan out a little bit ahead of time when you're doing activities like this. And so when they're done, they're going to submit their answer, and it takes them to the next draw it in my lesson with the civil rights leader. So for this one, it would be text boxes everywhere. So I would just take that text box and line up the top right corner and then resize it to fit. You can also make the text small so you can have them fill in charts with their information. And then they would insert a new text box and put that one in the second and resize that one, and so on and so forth. And when they're done with that chart, they hit submit, and here's our emoji. Now, there is an audio on this one. If you push that button, it will play my directions to you. And the kids will actually hear that I know you didn't hear it in the recording, but the kids will hear that little audio recording. Now, your directions, when you do type them, come over top of the draw it a little bit, and the kids just minimize the directions until they get the full screen. And the kids can draw in their face. And they really had a lot of fun with this emoji one. So we're gonna go on to the next one. And this one, of course, is the map. And with the writing tool, they could make that a little bit thinner. So I can just write in 12 under Florida. I'm gonna need to erase that and make that a little bit thinner so I can actually write in 12. You can also do a text box, or you could have them draw a line over to Florida and continue on until they're done with the map. So the toolbar does float away once they're drawing, so they will get to go to those bottom ones. The highlighting tool is also really cool because you could label these and say color Louisiana pink, and then they can go through and color these. So that's another idea too. And then the last one was the math worksheet. So I would use the pencil tool again, make it skinny, and I can write in my 8 and my 10. It's not the most perfect thing. It's a little tricky to work, and your penmanship is terrible, but you can see their answers, and it's really easy to convert a worksheet that you already have. So that is it. I thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.